This is not the first time you're talking about the, first, second, third born. Can you explain a little bit more like on this dynamic and why they different, like first and
Yeah,
second?
yeah.
Explain
Well,
that.
mum and dad, or, same sex, whatever, the parents have a child. The first child, they don't know how to deal with that. It's like a brand new thing. So they're practicing. Every day they're practicing. Do we pick the child up straight away when they're a baby, walk around, or do we use a dummy? All sorts of things. They're just practicing. Mm-hmm. And they're not aware of the cues that the child is giving. So it's often easier to dominate and just insist the child doesn't deviate from what you want. Mm-hmm. And that firstborn child isn't going to be distracted by another child. It's just them. And all they have to do is sit up nicely, and the parents say, "Oh, you're so good." Yeah. And so a pattern can come along where the firstborn is the focus of the parents' gaze, and they're looking for cues. Oh, okay. So all I have to do is this, and they'll smile, So they grow up and they think that there's a rule to living, that you will get through life if you look at what the boss wants or the teacher wants and do that. Mm-hmm. The second child arrives and the parents are still totally smitten and in love with the firstborn. Of course they love the secondborn, unless the firstborn's a girl and then there's a boy. And if the culture values a boy, then the girl's kind of like, "Oh, we've got a son." Mm-hmm. So the boy is a bit like a firstborn, but they've already practiced on someone else. So parents don't parent in the same way on the second child because they've learned to lighten up. This child is actually, firstborns often behave quite well. And so they think, they're a bit more relaxed. So the secondborn can't come and be a good child to receive the adulation and adoration because there's already someone on the throne that's the good child. So they arrive and they're looking around for ways to not get attention, but they're looking for ways to fit in or belong or something. So the secondborn has to be quite creative with ways to engage with people. And often those creative ways are labelled attention-seeking, hyperactive, and so on. Whereas the firstborn could well be more anxious. Oh, a parent's going to be loving this baby more than me? And they're kind of like... So each birth order has particular characteristics. It's not a pure science, but a firstborn parent will get and appreciate their firstborn child. A secondborn parent is kind of like often enlivened a bit by the cheekiness or the creative sparkle in that secondborn.
And is there any, like when there is a third and fourth, are there any particular dynamics that you would mention, or it's like,
No, I actually think one of the most important things with children in our modern world in the 21st century is to make sure each child has good one-on-one time. Mm-hmm. Because, again, 150 years ago, children were, maybe there were 7 children in a family and, they belong to that family. But now we would never look at a group of 3 children and say, they belong to that family. We can see there's unique, conscious individuals here with quite unique needs, and they make their needs known because we in the 21st century have this thing called freedom that we want, whereas 150 years ago, developmentally, evolutionary, children weren't 3 or 4 wanting freedom. Yeah. And if they were told to go to school, they went to school. Whereas children today, they're told to go to school and they go, "Oh no, I don't like school. It's really bad. I'm not liking it." So now we have this epidemic of school refusal. But actually, what it is children making a choice about what feels safe and right and nice for them. So schools need to change to respond to these unique, free souls that are being born